Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear us loud and clear? What's going on, Coach Paul?
I hear you loud and clear, Coach Jay. And welcome back to this very warm Monday here, at least. How are you doing, Coach Jay?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah, it is very warm. I just had to turn the AC down in my office. I'm like sweating over here. It's hot. We are in the middle of summer. So here we are. Welcome everyone to At the Buzz, our market recap. If this is your first time here, the goal of this session is to review what happened in the markets for the day. We may talk about some markets that you have not traded before, but we believe our goal as traders is to identify opportunity. We want to see how we could take advantage of those opportunities while managing our risk. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Coach Jay. Been a Topstep performance coach since June of 2023. Been trading for the past 13 years and in the futures markets for the past 6. And that is Coach Paul. Coach Paul, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Coach Paul. I've been with Topstep since April of 2023. I've been involved in the futures trading industry for 4 decades. I'm here to share some experience, some knowledge, and perhaps help you become a better trader.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Coach Paul. You are all our chat, our audience. Let us know how you are doing to start the week. Last day of the quarter, day of Q2, last day of the month. Let us know how your week started. Are you up on the day, down on the day? Maybe you stayed flat for the day, you didn't make any trades. Market was kind of just chopping around. Let us know how it is going, and we will get into the charts. As far as news goes today, we didn't have much. Pretty quiet. We did have a Chicago PMI number come out, 40.4. Forecast was 42.9. Uh, Outside of that, a couple Fed speakers. Treasury Secretary was speaking as well. Uh, Pretty quiet day. Pretty quiet day. I think they front loaded or backloaded the month. Or sorry, they backloaded the week with all of the data coming out um, on Thursday, uh, where we have this right.
Well, there's
Jolts
a
is
lot on
Jolts is tomorrow. Okay, we have Jolts tomorrow. Powell speaking. We have S&P manufacturing PMI tomorrow, and then on Thursday we have non-farm and jobless claims. Okay, so busy week to end the week. We know it is a shortened week, a holiday week, with the 4th of July, Independence Day in the U.S. So let's get into it, Coach. Anything else you got on the news?
No, there really wasn't much. This big bill. Um, it- I think the news is leaning on that. Um, Other than that, the big news will come later this week. It is a shortened week. It is the summer, and it is the summer doldrums. At least in the equities, there's
At
some good
least
movement in the currencies, but um, yeah, I think I'm gonna go. For a swim tomorrow if this happens again.
there you go. Sounds like a great use of your time. I said it at the end of fast markets today. If you made some money early, get off the charts. Do what you can, or if you lost and had a manageable loss as well, right?
Uh,
I think as traders, we need to understand what our job is, and our job is to put on risk in measured situations and allow the market to play out, right? And if it stops you out, you did your job. When we make our job making money every day, when we have, I think, outsized losses, uh, because we try to
uh,
stay green every day, which is tough to do.
Speaking of green, Adeyinka, Mr. Magic, is that if I pronounce that right, took
Yep.
my first ever payout today. Thanks to you both, my coaches. Awesome to
Congrats.
hear that. Congratulations.
That is big. Making it real, putting money in your pockets. Again, just kind of going through the process of, bless you, Coach Paul. Going through the process of knowing what it is to take a payout, right? Filling out a tax form and making it real, making this a business. So congratulations to you. Keep it up. Uh, yeah, glad that anything that we said throughout this entire process uh, has been able to help you. But at the end of the day, you as the trader have to click the buttons and manage your own risk. So great job. We got TDM trades up 446, Charles Williams up, Valentino up 200. Pi green on the day, avoided NQES and smashed the Euro futures. Nice.
Yeah,
Like to hear that.
like to hear that.
Leaders only took one trade, sat in it for an hour, stopped me out in profit plus 480, closed the charts, preserving my mental and capital. Good stuff. And Jay, thanks for joining us. All right, let's get into the charts. There are 35 different markets we can trade with Top Step accounts. Today, to the downside, we had the Nikkei down 0.73%, live cattle, lean hogs down 2.7%, and natural gas, our biggest percentage mover to the downside, at 7.94%. To the upside, we had gold up 0.99%, ultra bonds up 1.06%, and heating oil up 1.57% for our biggest percentage mover to the upside. To talk about our big four, we had crude oil down 0.76%, the S&P up 0.36%. We already talked about gold up 0.99%. Really nice rally at the end of the day in gold there. And then the Nasdaq making new all-time highs, 0.51%. Did the S&P make a new all-time high also? No, it didn't. We still got some room there. We still got some room. Why don't we talk
Only a
about that?
matter of time.
Only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. Why don't we talk about that a little bit, Coach Paul? I
Yep.
have an S&P chart up here. It is the end of the month. Why don't we take a look at the monthly to start? Um, not a lot to say, but
Well, we
it went
still
up.
have that mother of all wicks on the monthly. I just want to frame that.
Yeah,
Every time I want to get short, I look at that.
a lot of liquidated shorts in this move right here.
And someone bought it up down there.
Yep.
Um, but still looking possible double top, but how many times? One, two, three, four. We've been at this level 5 times this year. It seems to me the beach ball effect. Once it pops up, it's just going to explode up. Um, so very positive on the daily. Really not overbought. Um, it's doing it as we've said many times. It's doing its job.
It is. Shout out to John Jones, called this out earlier in the day during the daytime show. But this trend line that we drew from the all time high, we closed above it finally today. That trend line, again, the all time high, 62.87 half with this September contract that we're trading. And that trend line was right around 62.34. On the daily, one of the things we were looking at, and Hogan, I mentioned this during the opening call, was this December 18th candle, 62.51. 62.51 quarter is the high of that December 18th candle. And why am I looking at that one? That is the last time the Fed cut rates. We sold off, and in that area, we've been selling off pretty much every time we got up there. We still haven't closed above that, uh, where we only have one daily close above that high all year. And today looked like it had the potential to be right until the end of the day where we sold off. But I agree with you, Coach Paul. It's kind of inevitable that we see these all-time highs get taken out. Of course, anything can happen, but looking pretty strong there. Let's take a quick look at the Nasdaq. Same idea. Nasdaq made new all-time highs: 22,934.75. We closed above the high of that December 18th candle in the Nasdaq. That high was 22,808 quarter, which was the level I should have bought today.
Shoulda,
Should have,
coulda.
but I didn't. I didn't, and I took some losses for it. Was able to get back into the trade and make it up on the day. I think I ended fast markets down. Um, Kind of just settled, stepped away from my desk for a little bit, saw that the market was still kind of holding above that level, and got back into the trade. Uh,
Nice job.
Anything you're seeing on the daily that you want to talk about, Coach Paul, on the Nasdaq?
Nothing. I don't want to overstate the
Yep.
obvious, and onward and upward. The only
Oh,
thing that holding it back, I think, is some kind of debacle in the bill.
yeah.
I think that's causing some hesitation, but just on a charting basis, there's nothing new to add.
Awesome. So let's go down to a shorter time frame really quick. I just want to again, my thesis for the day was long above 22,808. And if we look at last night's open, The high of that candle is 22,808. This is the high of the first 30 minutes from last night. If we attach a VWAP to it, and again, this is the high of that December 18th candle, last time Fed cut rates. Uh, Pretty nice push early on, right? We got all-time highs last night, where there was a ton of size trading on the order books. Dakota and I think we both posted it on Twitter. A couple 500 lots traded out during the day. Could it be end of month rebalancing? Could it be, some profit taking? Whatever it is, there was some decent selling up here, but it really didn't cause any hesitation in the markets. We saw the market kind of trade those orders out, which to me goes along with the thesis that this is pretty bullish, where those orders sit there and we do find market buyers to take them out. Uh, Nice
I
push.
found
Go ahead, coach.
interesting last night is we broke late on
Hmm.
Friday. I think no one's really willing to take too much risk before a weekend.
Mm,
Is a pattern we've been seeing, and right into the close, we get liquidation for whatever news comes out. But as soon as it opens up and the world didn't end,
right back up.
right back into it
Yeah,
in the first half an hour. And really, that was the day.
that was the
That
day.
was half the range right there. Um,
Yeah. Wow. That 30-minute candle has no wicks on it. There's a little small wick at the top of it, but closed right at that level is why I liked it there. Um, but today during fast markets was another example of you can have direction right, but still be wrong on a day trade. And I think trade location still matters. I got long. We'll go down to a shorter time frame. I got. Oh, is that the call?
that's the call. I'll
All
call
right.
you right back.
All right. Sounds good. Coach Paul will be back. Back. But I got long in the Nasdaq at 22,838 and got stopped out on this trade. Uh, Maybe I was over leveraged or whatever it was, but if I took the trade where I initially said the level was, and Hogan and I talked about this during the opening call, if I take the trade at 22,808, which is the level I defined, then I have a max drawdown on that trade of about 28 points. For me, I'm trading the Nasdaq with an average of about a 40-point stop. So in this case, trade location would have saved me from taking a couple losses. Now we didn't have any price action below. You back, Coach Paul?
The call I was expecting.
Spam likely. Uh,
Yep.
we didn't get
But
any. Go ahead.
just to verify, I have to answer every one that comes in for a tech issue.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, I was going over this trade, Coach Paul, that I took this morning. I got long in a place that was, for today's price action, just not great trade location. And with a 40-point stop, still got taken out because of bad trade location, right? Where if I took the trade where I defined it, and went traded with a 40-point stop loss, which is about average for where I'm looking, then that trade never stops me out on the day. It was one that you had to sit in all day, but I think that has kind of been the environment that we're in the equities right now, especially to the long side. If you're looking for a trade to the long side, you're just going to have to sit in it. Um, if you're looking to catch most of the move. So if I'm reviewing my own trading day, I had the right thesis, but not that's only as good as your execution of that idea. I could have an idea if I don't execute it well and I throw an interception, right? If I have a playbook, I'm a football player, I have a playbook and I think my receiver's open and I throw it, wasn't really open, my fault. Right? I still got to make the pass, right? So uh I think that's extremely important because a lot of times traders, it's like, oh, I have a losing day. I need to redo everything. I have a psychology issue, whatever it is. It's like, no, you need to stick to your plan and execute your plan really well. And that's what I remind myself as well. Power of 12, we will definitely go over gold. Thank you for joining us. I don't think I've ever seen your name here before, but we'll go equities, then we'll go gold right after this. Anything else you got on the?
Yeah. I just want to reiterate what you were saying going through your trade.
Mhm.
There- On every trade, remember, there's always uncertainty.
Yep.
And in every trade, as you hold it, you get more information. But you get that information before you get the information, you have to frame out your risk. We say this all the time, but I think s- some tr- as traders, we get impatient. We get bored. But I love what you said. You didn't just stop. You didn't try and chase it. You walked away, rested, got waited for more information, and made appropriate trades. So good job. It
Thanks,
doesn't
coach.
always work that way, but that's part of the game.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. I think as long as risk is managed for the day, right, and you do either have another good setup that sets up or have the mental capital to continue to trade. I think if I sat at my desk all day looking for another trade to make it up, I don't know that I had the same day that I had, right? Because everything is going to look like an opportunity where I think it was important to step away, and then come back with fresh eyes, get something to eat, you know, go outside, understand that everything is okay with the world, and then come back. Was extremely important. But anything else you have on the equities, Coach Paul?
Let's look at Rusty.
You were going there.
Yeah. uh, Speaking of patience, this is the only thing that's holding my bullishness back in the others.
Mm,
This there's the equity space is not being I guess allocated.
mm.
It's being allocated 7 stocks, it seems to me.
Right.
Because this is unchanged, been unchanged. We're still haven't gotten over the 200. It's dead in the water.
Yeah. Today's range was you almost can't see the candle. It was 16 points high to low where the daily ATR is 40. Uh that's it. Yeah. Very
Yeah,
indecisive here.
yeah. Um, you'd like to see it to be. You'd like to see more participation across all the equities, but this is what the market is. Um, we'll keep an eye on old Rusty. It really is rusty now. It's not moving.
Yes, it is. And then just real quick, we'll look at the Dow. Again, all of the other equity markets above their 200 daily moving average. Like Coach Paul said, the Russell's the one that's not. The Russell's also the one with the most components. It's the Russell 2000. The Dow's 30. Learned today that Goldman Sachs is 10% of the Dow. Heavyweight.
Is it that large?
Yeah, that's what Jack was saying today. I think the
Huh.
top five companies are like 25% or something like that, and Goldman Sachs is 10% of the Dow. Uh, all right, let's move over to gold. Let's take a look at gold here. Actually, before we do that, Coach, Courtney has a question. What do you think about Russell indices rebalancing twice a year beginning next year?
I don't have a strong opinion about it. I just read that they do it, and I was wondering if that's causing this stagnation.
Hmm.
I'd imagine the people at Russell want a little more volatility.
Yeah.
Um, but it's a very good question. I can't answer that. But that rebalancing is going to be important, and having 2,000, having 2,000 stocks, it's going to be interesting how they keep rebalancing it. Right now, they found balance, so um, maybe it's the new bond market.
Huh.
But it's a great question. I don't know. I don't have an opinion. Just I'm glad you brought that up. We know that it is happening, and it's something if you're going to trade that to be aware of. Would like to trade options and sell a strangle every month and collect money. Um,
I'm trying to look at the weighting, and it doesn't look like right now. If I'm looking at this correctly, it doesn't look like there's anything that's more than a 0.5%. If I'm looking at
yeah.
this correctly, so yeah, I'm curious at how much that would even have an effect with so many things in it, right? Like, are they going to go, hey, let's put Nvidia in here and give it 50%, and then everything else? splits the other, that'll cause some volatility, but I don't think we see that happening. All right, let's talk about gold,
Sure.
Coach Paul. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Now we had a nice little bounce here, wick from holding. We did get some stops, didn't we? We broke, couldn't get foul through selling,
Yep.
but it still does not look strong to me. I'm keeping an eye on that 20-50 moving average. They're curving down, both of them.
Yes, they are.
I mean, that like we talked last week. The 50 has for about a year has been ticking up. It's now ticking down. I would not buy rallies. Um, I think this market could go both ways. Good action, but I still have this feeling that one day gold is going to puke. I'm going to say, how did it get down $300? Well, it can happen. Um,
We
is
did
that the
end
monthly?
we did end the month red, second red month in a row. A very indecisive candle, 33.23 was the monthly open. We ended right below that. So some indecisive monthly candles here. We are making higher lows still on the monthly, but the highs are coming down as well.
Could you say balance?
I don't know if I did. Sometimes I don't even know what I say, right? Words just like you're just
No, you.
flowing. Go ahead.
I'm just stating the obvious.
Yep, balance.
Balance. Now let's mark the low of June low. Like you said, we haven't. When's the last time we broke a monthly low?
That June low was today.
Was
That
it?
was today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Low of the month was today.
So
Okay.
that's going to be. When's the last time I think all year we've had a higher low for the monthly.
We have.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, 32.50. What is the exact price? 32.50 half. And then speaking of 32.50 half, let's go down to a shorter time frame because last night it looked like gold was going to just sell off. Right on the open, some pretty aggressive selling. We're under the 200 moving average on the 30-minute, Coach Paul. Here's that first 30-minute candle, and I was looking at this on a shorter time frame, just by nature, right? If you uh, look at the charts when they open up on a 3-minute, you saw some really nice selling at the open.
And what did appear
It
like
looked like
magic.
it looked like it was going to
It
zero.
did. Oh yeah. But then what happened at that low?
2,700 contracts traded in a 3-minute clip, right at 32.50 half. And we got a J trade closed above that high, 32.65. There was a ton of, so I want to put onto a minute chart, see if we can really see it. Yeah, it was this candle right here. 1,500 contracts traded in a minute. 2,700 in 3 minutes. A huge volume spike at that low. The candle closed lower than it opened, so it's going to show up as red. But I would assume that there was some buying in there, right? Whether they were short covering because they just had 35 points in 30 minutes, or buyers trying to hold this market up. Whatever it was, they stopped at that price. We closed above it, and that was kind of it. If
That's
you were able,
great trading. That's
yeah.
gold is the best trading market now
Hmm.
to me. Very interesting because there it's the last trading day of the month.
Okay. Yeah.
And it started in where? Asia.
In Asia. Yep.
It started there and they were that to me is an entity liquidating something. I
Mhm.
don't think that's shorts, but look at that. The volume picking up. This is a Sunday night. We had urgency. And we talk about a J trade. What is really a J trade? It's selling exhaustion.
Yep.
Classic. They just stopped selling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Almost immediately reversed that 30. This is a huge move to the downside.
yeah,
It's a 35 point move, almost a 50-point move to the downside. and just stop dead and reverse from there.
Yeah, I checked in late. I was out and I came in. I'm like, ah, I didn't see the J trade.
So
I'm
why do I
like,
leave my
okay,
house?
well, yeah, what I can't, I can't have a life. No, I looked at. It, I'm like, well, I don't want to get it get short and whole like that. Didn't really didn't pay attention to it at all. But if you were looking at the 3 minute, boy, did you have two opportunities because that was definitely a 2-to-1 on both sides.
Oh yeah, yep, 100%. Yeah, you got a 2 to 1 short and looking for more. Like Coach Paul says all the time, this this reversal, maybe you don't get in long here. Maybe you're looking at gold on a daily chart and you say, hey, this is a market that's in a downtrend, so I want to short it. But looking at this, if I don't get long, might be time to close the short there, Coach Paul. If
That's exactly it, Coach Jay.
yeah,
If I'm short and it doesn't hit my objective, we talk about new information.
hmm
Okay, it doesn't hit my objective. You got a nasty wick, and then we get an exhaustive selling. You're, I will tell you this: if you see that, cover.
yeah,
If you're not, you're just being stubborn.
at least pull your stop in the profit. Like if you were able to get this short from up here, uh, don't leave with zero, right? Maybe you think that this is just a short time frame bounce, uh, but with that amount of volume, that's more volume that traded maybe all day in a 3 minute clip. Yep, that's the most volume that traded in a 3 minute clip all day. So if it's not a
Interesting too is
go
that
ahead.
set the low of the month.
hmm
So,
Yes,
but
it did.
this,
Right at a major level as well, 3250. So a lot going on there. Um, Somebody came in and said, "Hey, you know what? We're not going any lower." If we look at a higher time frame, then kind of if you don't catch that trade, right? How do you approach these markets, right? A lot of our traders may be trading the New York session. So during the opening call this morning, the house account did get long. Hogue and I were both kind of looking at this level. Hogue, I identified the level just being the high of the J trade on a 30-minute chart, 3294, we'll call it. Hogue was looking at a point of control, or sorry, a value area high. I believe he was looking at, yeah, 3290s value area high from the regular trading hour session on Friday. Uh, so I think we both agreed that we want to be long above this 3290 area. You were going to say something, Coach Will?
oh no, I was the value area high. You were correct.
Yep.
I was watching that.
Yeah, value high did hold. I know. So, and here's the thing, right? With trading micros and minis, they are technically different markets. I think if our stop in the house account was in the minis, we don't get stopped out. Where it was in the micros, we did get stopped out. But same trade idea. The guys took JD and Hogue take that opening range long. Or sorry, they take the opening range trade every day. Today it triggered a long, and if we look at the opening range 1 minute, it's right here. Colors on that, and was a pretty good trade to start. Took a little while, and Hogue was looking for. So he looks at these gap fills, Coach Paul,
Yeah.
where he's looking at only the regular trading hour. So anything that happens overnight, he's considering that as a potential for a gap fill, and that was this range here. So once we held that high, held above value, we got exactly that to about 50% of that gap, which is a really nice trade. It took forever. It took all day, but sometimes they do.
Well, uh, on a big move like that, we can see we've been talking about it for a long time. Who's deciding the action? What Asia? I
Asia,
won't say
right?
China. Asia. The time we get we're open in the U.S., we're like the last
It's like here,
lion to to the carcass.
right?
But knowing that too, um, there is more stability. There's less volatility. And I like the way that was set up as a buy because we had the information, we had selling exhaustion. By the time it came to the U.S., you still know that there was selling exhaustion.
Mhm.
It's good information.
Yep.
Where did we go to though?
What is that white line up there, chat? We are on a 30-minute chart, and we've continued to reject on the way down here. That is the 200 moving average on the 30-minute chart, right at 33.2240. High of the day, pretty damn close to that. And a rejection. We turned right at it.
Yeah,
And I so this kind of whole puzzle now, I'm telling you, Coach Ball, I was watching gold last night. I did not take the long. But now that I look at this trade, we were pretty extended from that 200 moving average and pretty extended from the 20 also. And
yeah.
we know markets don't just go straight up and down. So now, like, and again, this is in hindsight, but this puzzle makes a lot of sense. That's a great long. And even if you don't take the whole trade, uh, we did get extended. We're back at the 200. Do we continue to sell now that we had this pull up? Is the question. But hmm, really nice day there in gold. Anything else you got, or do we want to go to
Gold.
the
It's going to be an interesting opening tonight.
agreed
Um, I'm, I'm focused in on that. It's great trading, great opportunities.
for sure? Let's take a look at crude oil. You knew it, Adrian. I don't know what you want me to say about this, but it is imbalance for sure on the daily. Which I joke about it, but it is presenting an opportunity to range traders, right, where we talked about that a little bit. What are you looking at here in crude oil, Coach?
I can't see it. There's nothing there. Is it my eyes?
Yeah,
I find it very interesting because we're not leaving the 200 moving average on the daily.
stuck there.
Stuck. We had the war that lasted, what, 11 days? Th- This construct that I see here looks like this market is manipulated. If one side loses control,
Hmm.
it is going to be violent. I'm just the
Yeah.
way that this happened, any kind of headline can send this thing right back up. The volatility, I know. I'm long calls and puts on a strangle. I'm losing more than the futures because volatility is just collapsing. It's all right. Um, I don't, but still, there's nothing much to say. Range traders, have you traded this? This is like a range trader's dream.
Sell it above
Uh,
the 200 daily moving average, buy it back below, rinse and repeat. It might
you
take
know,
all
I
day to
used,
get there.
I used to have what is a local's dream. What I'm saying is a market maker's dream of dreams. It's 7 bid at 8, a million up, and trading and it's busy. That's what this looks like. Like I can buy the bid and sell the offer, and
Yeah.
that's why I go is when this comes out of that, I have this feeling it's going to be violent. But other than that, I don't have much to say. It is under the 20 also, but
Daily?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. This is just I mean, it's been 5 days, 4 or 5 days of consolidated ranges. I was going to say it's not going to stay in this range, but this is crude oil we're talking about. It could stay in this
it's
range
tr-
for 5 months if it wanted to. So, if you're a range trader, I think your goal is to trade the range until it breaks. And there is opportunity. The house account was short today and we talked about it, right? I'm calling the upper extreme of that range maybe 65, 75, 65, 80. Lower extreme of the range somewhere near 64.50. So shorting anything above 65, maybe not right at 65, but above it, is the right trade. I think if I'm going to trade this, it may take a little while. I'm not looking for a $10 moving crude if I'm getting short, but if I'm going to trade the range, there is maybe 50 cents you could get out of a move, which, we talked about position sizing. Do you scale up in a market like this? I personally wouldn't because, like you just said, a headline can throw this market around really quick. But a range is a range. Range is a range.
All right.
Anything else, Coach?
Natural gas.
a
Let's see the trade. Oh,
market
look
that's
at that.
actually moving.
Now let's start with the daily.
What is that
We
high
only
there?
look at what was Friday's close?
200
Right
moving
at it.
average. Yep.
Now, what I want to show you here is how all these moving averages are starting to constrict. They're all coming in to the same place. Now, Friday we closed at it, but not above it, not above the 20 or the 50. So there's heaviness to it. Now,
Yep.
looking at that, you're like kind of like where gold is right now. That opening is going to be important. So we look last night. If we look at a half hour on the opening,
And Adrian, I'm sorry. I'll go. We'll go back to crude oil and look at a 4 hour chart. I missed doing that, but let's look at this net gas real quick. Half hour on the open in net. Why did I change the colors? It's gonna bother me. Sorry, guys. I gotta change this back.
come on, man. There.
Everything's good now.
All right. We had urgency. It was a nice 2-to-1 trade for me. Um, what I mean by this, it look at this. Okay, we look at the size of the candle and all the candles after it. Someone dumped it hard, and what I think it picked up again in London.
Yep.
It's a new opening again, out of the range, and wow. So when I talk about the 200, that had a big effect here.
Yeah.
The funds came in on the dailies, said, okay, we didn't get any big news over, nothing dramatic happened. Maybe it's hedging, maybe it's both. But we do know the result of that selling was that market didn't recover, didn't even come close. Like
No.
we talk now, we'll look at the shape of VWAP.
Yep. No closes above it.
No closes above. I mean, I
It's a
feel,
beautiful trade.
yeah, I feel like I took a bite out of an elephant and let the rest rot. Like that was a big trade. It was not challenged ever.
So I want to ask you something about that, Coach Paul. I know
Mhm.
you look for 2 to 1s on day trades, which are great trades, and you can get a 2 to 1 out of this. Do you, or do you think m- is it more beneficial? Is it more detrimental than beneficial to expand price targets in a market like natural gas where we know can move big percentages?
That's a good question. Um, but on a day trade, when I go 2 to 1, we see this dramatic. Well, I could have, but
Mhm.
over time is that one trade makes the data. Um,
Right.
so what I would say is if you build up your account, now you're a 2 lot trader at 2 to 1.
Gotcha. Because
That's
you can repeat the 2 to 1. It's kind of harder to repeat. You don't
yeah,
know that you're going to get an 8% day in natural gas, right?
you don't know.
It could be a 3% day. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now on a swing trade, that's you're gonna hold that. Like
Right.
you had a nice stop, a nice start, and you hold it. But the most interesting, I mean, this looks like it has more downside to it, based on the daily. But I'm not gonna get it. Now we're talking. This is not a place to get short in the hole. Looking, I'm looking to sell a rally. But wow, that was dramatic.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. All right.
Oh,
I'm gonna go back real quick for Adrian on the 4-hour
oh
chart
yeah.
in Crude to see if we see anything different. And Adrian, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Looks very much the same. Uh, I don't see much
Now,
outside of what we already saw on the daily here.
now looking at it from that 4 hour,
Mhm.
I get a little more bearish here. Like
Okay.
whatever, if it closes below that neckline, I think it could.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. Um, you see some pressure down to the lows of this range, but crude.
Yeah. It's a tough one to trade. It is a tough one to trade. All right. Any other markets you want to talk about, Coach Paul? We have about 15 minutes
Yeah,
left.
Canadian dollar and a
Canadian
euro
dollar and
and a
chat.
yen.
Any of the currencies. Chat. If you guys do have any questions, let us know. We did see a question from chat. What is gold going to do tonight? It's going to move. Um, in what direction? I would be leaning towards the short side. Just kind of where we are. We talked about where we are in relation to the 200 moving average on the 30-minute. Gold has been in a little bit of a downtrend, but what is it going to do? It's hard to tell. What I will say is, and I think Coach Paul, you'll look at it the same way. Take a look at that first 30-minute candle, uh, maybe even the first 3-minute candle if they want to start selling like they did last night, and see from there. But same thing we do every day. Map out that first 30-minute candle, attach VWAP to it, see how it responds, and then go from there. Gold is going to trade. I know that
Yeah, it's been the best action.
for sure. All right, let's go back to Canadian dollar. And here we are. You want to look at the daily?
Yeah, we'll quickly look at the daily. We've been talking about this is a great place to trade and learn to trade. And if you're struggling, Ed, look at the Canadian dollar. Anyway, this is a uptrending market. Um, above the 200, above the 20, and above the 50. We had that wick from the announcement of we're never going to talk to Canada again. Canada agreed to take back their tax on tech data, whatever it was. I, I don't know this. They don't send me the any text to say what the decisions are, but what I do is watch the result in the Canadian dollar. So that break yesterday went to the 50, and we were talking about this Friday. Looks we're still in uptrend. It looks like a break that I can buy. So let's look at the first half an hour last night.
I was just talking on mute. I'm just looking at this high. We might be getting a volume reversal J trade on the daily here as well. Let's take a look at the half an hour.
Uh, oh, I like that. Yeah.
Half an hour in the Canadian dollar. What is the tick value in the Canadian dollar, Coach Paul?
Oh, each tick is $5. So, but I look at it as points. So if it goes from 73.70 to 73.71, that's $10. But it
Gotcha.
does trade half ticks. So it's very tame in that regard.
Nice.
So there, we talked about there's a huge J trade on the half hour from Friday on the news that held, and we finished near the highs of the day.
This looks exactly like gold on this time frame. On this time frame, right? On a higher time frame, it's rallying, but this looks like that gold trade, right? High volume at the lows, close above it, test into it, but volume is supporting this market right now. Hmm.
Buy the dips.
Buy the dips, right?
Now,
Buy the dip is
it,
right.
this market is also acting like the other currencies against the dollar. I see someone wanted to see the euro yen. We don't have that chart, but let's look at the yen.
Here is the yen. Let's go out to the daily. Canadian dollar looks, in my opinion, much stronger here, but maybe the yen has
Yep.
some room to play catch up. What are we looking at here on the daily, Coach Ball?
We went up last week. We challenged and wicked under the 200 daily. We had a day. We've had slow buying up, um, back above the 20, looking at the 50. Let's do a trend from that high, the trend line from that high, and I think we're right at it. Yep. Now, that was the background of the dollar weakening. I think this market has some real potential for good risk reward longs. I'm not saying it's going up. It has potential for good risk reward longs for me, the way I see it. Um, Especially with the background of dollar weakening.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks pretty pretty bullish here. Princess B says Canada Day is tomorrow. Our markets are closed. So maybe
Uh,
Canadian dollar will be a little slow tomorrow. Maybe. Uh,
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
Hey there.
Ah, all right. We got a request for soybeans. Soybeans, 200 daily moving average. Put a line there a couple days ago, and during fast markets this morning, I looked at it. And that line's interesting. Equity markets were chopping around, really not doing a whole lot. Jack asked the question, "Hey, is there any markets?" He's like, "Jay, you're the guy that looks at all the different markets. Is there anything that's interesting right now?" And I saw soybeans at the 200 daily moving average, uh, but it didn't look like it was going to do a whole lot. And then it did a whole lot.
It's the last day of the month in in the soybeans. Last day of July. I mean June. First day of July coming in. There's this seasonality of soybeans and corn breaking after the 4th of July. Um, it's it's a very large seasonal trade. Um, we had that rally and put that line. Now that doesn't do justice. The way that I look to execute is we get out there, especially in soybeans or grains, because it opens later and it has less trading hours. Put on a 3 minute on the opening.
Just regular trading hours, right?
Regular trading hours.
Had a nice rally to start the day.
Was it a 2-to-1 on the buy?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now we get, yeah,
It
no,
was close. It was close. Like
no,
1.75. I'm taking
you didn't
something. I'm
get
leaving here
two.
with something. I'm leaving here with something.
I would say scratch if you're getting up there because you really don't have time.
Right.
Once that news came out, I think that was it oh it's the end of it's the end of the month, and I think was the world agricultural supply and demand equation came out. Either way, this is one of the things, don't be greedy, right? If it's
Right.
up there and it's ticking 4 or 5 times and you're a quarter cent away, or you're starting to get okay. Plus, you're going against the flow.
Right.
Now, this is what is hard when you get big movement, whatever big news. One, two, by the time you sell it.
That's it.
So coming back in under the 200 daily, I mean, this market is heavy. Seasonally, it's heavy. The U.S. soybean market has lost, what was it, a billion, at least $1 billion of orders to China on this trade war.
Huh.
I mean, all my farmer friends, I feel for you. This does not look good. Um, it's just not a. This market could keep breaking. Um, on the daily, yeah, look at that. Um, but not much of a trend. But this market is going nowhere,
Yeah.
and
Some
it
pretty big
has.
ranges though.
Yeah, and see how fast they come in short time.
Yep. Yeah. What yeah. If you
That's
I think you have to trade that on a higher time frame chart, right? Where the long did give you some time, but once we got going, like if you're not already could have shorted at that
yeah.
200 moving average. It gave you 16 times to do it, Jay. But you sat there and watched it for an hour and a half. Sat there and watched it there. But yeah, that was a quick see profit, take profit trade. And we could see right back to the middle of where that sell off happened, kind of just hanging out here. But interesting market.
All right. Someone wants to look at the Nikkei.
All right. Oh, what just happened? Did I just lose data? Damn it, I did. All right, come back. There we go. It's
Come
back. It's
back,
back.
please.
Baby, come back. All right, here we are.
Oh, wow. Continue, Coach Jay.
Nah,
Let's hear that
I don't
camel.
know any of the other words. Uh,
Coach Jay can sing.
I don't know any other words. I don't know what you're talking about. Here we are, the Nikkei on the daily, Coach Paul. We are not at all-time highs, 42,570. This kind of looks like the Dow. Uh, looks like the Dow chart
It
where,
does look like the Dow.
yeah.
And
Let's
it
take a
is, Nikkei is designed like the Dow, I believe.
makes sense.
Large cap. Yeah.
So kind of just looking at
Oh,
this from a technical perspective, on a daily, we're above the 200 moving average. The 20 crossed above a couple days ago. The 50 is getting ready to cross. And then I'm looking at this consolidation that we had all of, the end of last year, September through January, pretty much. And we closed above that, 4350, we'll call it, is that high. 4300, we'll call it. And we closed above it, came back on the daily, and looks like we're testing it. Supportive so far, where we still closed above that high. Uh, I would say this
very
area
firm.
yeah, I would say this area needs to hold, and this looks pretty good to the long side. Uh, July 17th, 2024. Is there any significance to that day?
The day of days. Was-
Right.
Wasn't that when we started breaking forever?
Yes, it was. I think so. I think we might have been looking at July 9th. I think July 9th was a day that we were looking at, but then this July 17th here. The reason I asked was there any significance there? That might have been that the day Japan raised rates.
That was it. That was the sneak attack.
Yeah. So we just
They
traded
had
right back to 50% of that to the tick. Does that mean anything? Maybe, maybe not. But I would be looking at the low of that daily candle, 4,200 to hold. Because again, that was the day Japan raised rates. We traded to 50% of it. If we can start to see some price acceptance into this range, then I'm looking for the rotation up to the high. But this 50% here, right at 40, call it 41,000, uh, is an important level clearly here. Um, hmm. I don't trade this market because it's just kind of expensive for top step accounts, and I don't think I have the data for my personal. But technically, it looks pretty interesting. Anything else you got, Coach Paul?
and a Nikkei. I want to look at the euro currency.
Okay.
Maybe the currencies are where I'm making money. So
I wanted to ask in the chat, how many traders do we have trading the euro currency, or trading any currencies, for that matter? I know we do a lot of talk during the daytime show about the equities. Most of our traders are trading in the equities, so we get it. But um, these currency markets, they are presenting some great opportunity. Here's the euro, Coach Paul. On let's go with the daily to start. Probably the strongest of them all.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
This this looks like gold a year ago.
Mm.
It really
Is
does.
that where we
Cup
are?
and handle. Uh, it looks like very strong action.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say? Above trend lines, above moving averages, breaking out. Um, it's almost too good to be true. But in sincerity, it's trading technically very well on the short term also. So let's look at the half hour from last night.
Here is the first half an hour. I know exactly what you were gonna say. Go ahead, keep going though.
um, this market is not breaking; it's going sideways. But when it breaks out of those ranges, it shoots.
Yep.
Um, uh, it- in the summertime, dollar weakening. Sometimes, and believe me, I understand someone said I was an EU spot trader, but not anymore because this market can chop you.
Hmm.
But when it's moving, like I start with that daily, and that it's picking up momentum as it rallies.
So
That
I don't
is,
I don't trade currencies often, but I guess that makes sense, right? Where if you're getting chopped up, currencies should be pretty stable, right? But we're seeing the dollar this year, I think, down the most to start the year than it has been in like the last 20 years or something like that. So imbalances create opportunity, right, Coach Paul? And I think that's why we're
yep,
seeing this happen right now.
yeah, and that started. Well, look, that's why I said it kind of looks like gold when it started a year ago.
Right.
It's too hard. I mean, it's that's a strong trend. Um, I mean, to me, it looks like it could just rip. Like
Hmm.
there, if we don't have a dollar, a chart,
Right.
dollar index chart, but you turn that euro currency is like 75 to 80% of that the action in the dollar index. If we turn that chart upside down, what was it? Control
Alt I.
uh,
Alt I.
Alt I. That's what the dollar looks like.
Yeah.
So finding an opportunity to trade currencies to the long side is creating some really good opportunities. We just saw the Canadian dollar and we saw the euro currency. Let's look at the yen.
We took a look at the yen, that downtrend.
Yeah, the downtrend line.
Yep.
So that's all I have. Wow, we're past time. So much fun.
So much fun. So much fun. Coach Paul, you got anything before we go? We are at time. Anything on your scouting report? I think I know what it is. We kind of talked about it already, but anything you got before we go?
Um, as always, trade your plan your trade, focus on your risk management. If l- Look for opportunity. Um, if you're getting chopped up in one place or you're not finding success, it's okay to go somewhere else and trade your plan somewhere else if you can find the setup. That's it.
John wants to know why don't we have a dollar chart? If you look at DXY, that's the dollar chart. U.S. dollar index futures, I think, is on the what exchange is that, Coach? Was it ICE?
ICE, and
Yeah,
they charge a lot.
yeah. ICE data is not cheap. Uh, so that would be why. But if you pull up a trading view chart or something like that, you could see it from there. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach Paul, as always, for a great session. Thank you, Andrew, for helping
You
us
too,
run it.
coach.
Uh, I will be on slow markets tonight. I think I'm going to start the session for Dakota, but he's joining me halfway through it. But trade well, everyone. Manage your risk. Talk to you all tomorrow.